Have you ever tried to pick up a habit and you think you're progressing? You do it for a few days, then you realize 3 days in that it just doesn't stick. Or maybe you try to learn a new skill but it just feels too hard, or you feel like there's just never enough time. Well, in this video I'll give you 3 ways you can definitively stick to a habit no matter what it may be. I don't care if it's playing the flute or it is making business decisions. You will know by the end of this video how to adhere to your practices. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but if you choose to follow this advice through and take the action steps necessary, then you will not regret it, trust me. Number 1. Creating a timetable or designing your own calendar. Your habits are whimsical and the action relies on your fleeting emotions. Let's say you want to create some YouTube videos and you already have a few ideas on the topic and you have a rough outline of the things you're going to say, but you're not consistent. And 1 week you will upload a video when you're feeling motivated, but the 2 weeks after you will just forget or realize that you don't have the drive or the time to do it. And that is because you haven't set aside a block of time for this action step. You cannot rely on your feelings when trying to make good habits. What you need to do is open up your Google Calendar app or your Notes app and write down every big or small task you're going to do tomorrow, or say on the weekends if it's better. Make this calendar the ideal day, a day where you are the most productive. Set aside time slots for everything from the time you wake up to your morning routine to your workouts, and most importantly, the big task that you have been putting off. And have this calendar app on your home screen and opened in your history. Add it as a widget if possible. Do whatever you can to make it visible. I want you to study this calendar anytime you have free time, to the point that it's ingrained into your memory. So for my example on making YouTube videos, I would have certain days where I block out a period of time for scripting or recording or editing, etc., etc. And I do everything in my power to make sure to follow this ideal day. I'll have reminders on the calendar app to notify me on my phone when the task is imminent, so even if I'm not looking at my phone, I don't forget. And I know, I can already hear somebody in the comments saying, "Oh, but you're never gonna have the ideal day. Life is gonna get in the way." Yeah, of course, life gets in the way, but the point of this action step is to build a habit, not a prison cell. Think about it. Say you have your ideal day marked on your calendar. Even if you are 70 to 80% adherent to this plan, even if you do 60% of what is slotted, you will have an infinitely better and productive day than those that don't have a timetable. So don't give me that excuse of life getting in the way. Be a man and just do it, please. This actually will work, and this will actually get you doing the habits that you're trying to establish while forcing you to be consistent. Number 2, priming your environment. If you constantly feel like you're not making any progress on a habit, then one of the reasons might be your environment. If you try to learn a new habit under the same conditions and the setting that you have learned your bad habits in, then you'll naturally face resistance in whatever new you're doing. Take this for example. During the Vietnam War, American soldiers became addicted to readily available heroin overseas. Unlike in the US where it was often injected, in Vietnam it was easily smoked, which lowered the barrier for the soldiers to try it. It was also overwhelmingly cheap and accessible, and under extreme duress, the soldiers sought for a quick fix. But what's interesting is that when these same soldiers went back home, researchers found that 95% of them recovered in just under a year, and only 12% relapsed within 3 years. This shows is the importance of environmental cues and what a change of scenery can do to a person. Just by being in the presence of their loving families and friends and away from all that war and destruction, they ended their addiction. They didn't feel the need to cope or to compensate by resorting to the drug. The same way they washed away their addiction, you can too build good habits. Using the same example as before, say I want to make more YouTube videos on my channel, I wouldn't be outside at a formal event on my phone writing up a script or whatever, or with my friends and family trying to record or edit. I would instead set aside a certain time block for me to do this activity every day, and every time I would do it in the same environment, like in my room. I would try to remove any distractions nearby and prime my environment with things related to this good habit. So I would have a poster or a note on the wall saying to do this activity and ideas relating to it. If I'm trying to go to the gym more, I would have my workout clothes laid off somewhere in my sights. So whenever I wake up or come back from work, I get a visual cue that pushes me to do it. The point is to put as many visual cues in your environment as you can, and to be intentional about when and where you're making habits. Number 3, reduce the barrier to good habits. One reason you can't muster up this desire to do good habits is because you think of it as some grand act when you haven't even taken the smaller steps yet. You can't start singing and think you'll be Michael Jackson in a week. Realize the importance of adding to your arsenal little by little. First, you start learning how to breathe properly while singing to get your breathing right and practice that. Then you do vocal practices and concepts, learn pitches and range, and only then you start singing. And even then, it's 15 to 30 minutes a day, but you gradually build up to singing learning more and more while covering songs made by other artists, and pick out what you like and what you didn't like, and then you make your own sound. That's how it should go. Learning good habits is not a linear exercise. You don't get better at the same rate. This is a big mistake that people can't seem to understand. When you start out learning a skill, you'll be an amateur and struggle with the little details. And that is okay. Don't you get a big ego thinking that you will automatically be an expert because you start doing it here and there. Because you won't. Your progress will be gradual at first, but there will come a day when you make massive strides and suddenly shoot your progress up. And that's what I want you to understand. Learning a new skill and making a good habit is an exponential function, which is why it's so critical for you to lower the bar and the friction when it comes to these habits. If I'm aiming to make YouTube videos, then I don't set my expectations to 2 videos a week when I'm just starting out. That'll turn me away from doing the task and make me procrastinate even more. I'll tell myself, okay, just get the opening intro of a video down. Get ideas about the topics I want to cover, things like that. When you set such a low threshold to good habits, you'll have no choice but to do it and think yourself to be capable. And this will also boost your confidence up, subliminally urging you to do more. Once you're consistently doing the bare minimum, only then can you move up in difficulty. If you can't stick to a habit, it may be because your brain sees it as being too difficult. Guys, if you follow these 3 steps that I've outlined, then I guarantee you'll reap the benefits. Make that timetable in your calendar, block out time for the good habits, prime your environment to enforce the good habits, and lower the threshold or the barrier to get into doing the habits in the first place. If you want to make a meaningful change in your life, you will follow this protocol. But if you have a big ego and think that, oh, it won't work for me, then you will be stuck in this rut forever, thinking why you can't make good habits. The choice is yours. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.